He thought it was just a summer job, a break from college, a break from love. But when 19, old Rob dials the number left by a mysterious, silver-haired guest, he opens the door to a world he never imagined. Jeff, a 45-year-old businessman, offers more than luxury he sees through Rob's smile, his fears, his need to be wanted. Torn between first love and forbidden desire, Rob tries to balance truth, loyalty, and the thrill of being fully seen. But when his boyfriend shows up at the resort and Jeff's past comes knocking with secrets and threats, Rob finds himself caught between two lives and two versions of himself. One kiss breaks him open, one lie pulls him under, and one night might destroy everything. Was Jeff just another mistake wrapped in silk, or the only man who ever truly knew him? The receipt was still warm when I found the number. It was scribbled in clean, heavy handwriting on the back, just a 10-digit string below the total, nothing else. No name, no message, just a signal. I stood behind the bar, still holding the half-wiped glass in one hand, my name tag crooked, my shirt damp with summer sweat. The shift was almost over, and the last guests had long disappeared into the glowing, overpriced villas. Except him, he sat alone near the terrace edge, under a red lantern, sipping scotch like it was something sacred. Sharp suit, silver watch, and eyes that never quite stopped watching me. When he left, he nodded once slowly and placed $100 tip under his glass. And now here I was, staring at the back of a receipt, trying not to imagine what it meant. I already had someone. Christopher. We'd been together since college orientation. He once told me I laughed too loud and kissed like starving. I told him he talked like he was writing poetry he'd never admit to. It worked whatever we had. It still worked. Or it did. But we were 2 hours apart, and this summer job had stretched our skin like thin glass. Calls had grown shorter, texts more strained. I didn't mean to dial it. My thumb moved faster than my head. Maybe I needed to hear a stranger's voice, or maybe I wanted to hear his. The line rang once, twice. Then that voice, Rob, he said, just that, my name, like he'd been expecting me. My stomach dropped. Hi, I managed. I found your number. I was hoping you would. His voice was slow and smooth, like a lake with something dangerous underneath. Jeff, he said, can I take you out for a drink? I should have said no. I should have laughed. I had a boyfriend. I was 19. I didn't even know what kind of man Jeff was, but my lips moved on their own. I get off in 30 minutes. The bar was quiet when I walked out. Warm air clung to my arms. I spotted his car, first black, polished, expensive in a way that whispered, not shouted. He stood beside it, no jacket, just a pale blue shirt rolled at the sleeves. His hair was salt-tanned, pepper, face clean, shaven, but it wasn't the money that hit me. It was the way he looked at me like I, a boy carrying trays, like I was something rare. He opened the door for me. I hesitated. I just want a drink, he said. Nothing more, unless you want more. We drove to a small cliff bar above the water, hidden from the tourist routes. Candles burned low inside. No one asked for IDs. He didn't touch me, didn't ask questions, just ordered whiskey, let me pick my soda, and asked, why did you call? I don't know, I said. That's a lie, he replied gently. I stared at the ice in my glass. Maybe I wanted to feel like someone still noticed me. I noticed you the second you brought the check, he said. You walk like you know you don't belong here but want to. I looked away. I didn't mean that as an insult, he added. It's familiar. When he dropped me off back at staff housing, I expected a move, a lean, a kiss, something. But Jeff just unlocked the glove box and handed me a white envelope. For you, he said, to remind you that being seen is the same as being used. Inside, $1,000 in cash. What the hell is this? Gratitude, and an invitation for what? My voice cracked. To talk again, if you want. I should have thrown it back at him, but I didn't. I held it all the way to my room, breathing too fast, the envelope burning against my palm. Christopher called an hour later. I let it ring, then again and again. I turned my phone face down, but at midnight I picked it up, typed, I miss you, then deleted it, typed, I met someone, deleted that too. Then nothing, just the dark, the ceiling fan spinning slow, the soft throb in my chest like something old cracking open. The next morning, a single white rose sat outside my door. No note, no name, just one petal half wilted, curled like a question I didn't want to answer. I didn't mean to see him again, but 2 days later, he sat in the same spot corner table, sunset bleeding behind him, untouched drink in hand. Like nothing had passed, like he hadn't cracked something open in me that night. My fingers trembled when I brought him his order. Ginger ale, he said, smirking. Didn't forget. "Am working," I mumbled, "so ill wait." He stayed for 3 hours. Didn't say another word, just sat eyes calm until I clocked out. I found him leaning against the hood of his car again. "I have 20 minutes," I said. "It'll take 10. We sat on the beach. The sky was bruised with pink and ash. My toes curled in the sand. I kept my eyes on the water. Safe, distant. "Why me?" I asked finally. "You looked lonely," Jeff said. "And not the kind people pity, the kind they overlook?" "That's not an answer. It's the truth." I shook my head. "Am not yours to notice. You think I don't know that." He pulled a small velvet pouch from his coat, handed it to me, inside a thin chain bracelet. "Silver, minimal, expensive. I can't take this. You don't have to wear it. Just hold on to it, for the nights when you forget who you are." I stared at it. "Is this some kind of game to you?" "No, but maybe it is to you." That line stayed with me long after he left. Christopher called again that night. I answered. "Hey," I said. Silence. Then, "You okay?" "I'm fine. You sound tired. Long shifts." A pause. "I miss you," he added. I closed my eyes. "Me too." We talked for 17 minutes. I didn't mention Jeff, didn't mention the rose, or the bracelet I hadn't returned. But guilt tastes like metal. It stains your mouth, even if you don't speak it. 2 days later, I saw Jeff again. Not at the bar, not on the beach. He pulled up outside my staff quarters, just before curfew. "You shouldn't be here," I said. "Get in," he replied. "I can't. You want to." I did. The road wound up the cliffside, sharp and narrow. He drove without speaking. Music, low Nina Simone humming like smoke in the background. His house stood alone. No neighbors, no lights in sight, just space, quiet, glass walls catching the moon. Inside, everything smelled like cedar and something warm I couldn't place. "Home, maybe." He poured me tea, not wine. "You can leave anytime," he said. "I know, but if you stay, I want honesty." I swallowed. "I have a boyfriend," I figured. "He's good, kind. We've been together since high school, and yet you're here." I looked away. I don't know why. Jeff sat across from me, elbows on his knees. "Let me guess," he said. "He sees you as sweet, a little reckless, the cute one." I blinked. "But you want someone who sees the parts you hide," he continued. "The way you overthink, the way you crave touch but flinch from it, the way you keep secrets even from yourself." He wasn't guessing. He was peeling. "And what do you want from me?" I asked. "Just time," he said, "until you decide what you want." I left before midnight. He walked me to the door, didn't kiss me, didn't touch me, but when I turned away, I felt it, the gravity of him. Back in my room, I opened my messages. Christopher had sent a photo of the lake near our hometown. No caption, just water and sky. I wanted to reply, but all I typed was, "Things are complicated," then deleted it. The next morning, another envelope waited under my door. No cash this time, just a note. "I won't chase you, but I won't disappear either." I sat on the bed, bracelet still in hand, wondering how I had gotten so far from where I started, and why it didn't feel wrong yet. That evening, while wiping down the bar, I saw someone new staring. A tall man, early 30s maybe. Long coat, sharp chin, eyes like knives. He wasn't drinking, just watching me too long. When I brought him water, he said, "You're Rob, right?" I froze. "Yeah, why?" He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Let's just say Jeff's not the only one who notices you." And just like that, the game changed. The storm hit without warning. I'd just finished my shift when the first rumble cracked through the sky. Rain came fast, angry and sideways. Staff housing was half a mile away, and I hadn't brought my jacket. By the time Jeff's car pulled up, headlights flashing across wet pavement, I was soaked to the bone. "Get in," he said through the open window. I hesitated. Not long. The ride was quiet. I held my breath most of the way. My shirt clung to my back, cold biting through the fabric. Jeff didn't look at me. His hands stayed steady on the wheel. At the villa, he handed me a towel and pointed to the hallway. "Second door. Shower's yours. I'll find you something dry." I stood frozen. "You're shivering," he added, softer. I moved. The water scalded at first, then turned gentle. I let it run too long. Let it wash the night off me. Let it erase every message I hadn't sent. When I stepped out, a black t-shirt and sweatpants waited on the sink. Everything smelled like cedar and something darker like quiet after fire. I dressed slowly. My skin still tingled. He was in the kitchen, barefoot, sleeves rolled again, pouring tea into 2 mugs. "You always save boys from storms?" I asked, forcing a smile. "Only the ones who never ask for help." I took the mug, our fingers brushed, my chest tightened. We sat on the couch, steam curling between us. "I shouldn't have come," I said, "but you did." Silence, rain tapping the glass behind us. You ever feel like you're split in two? I asked. Jeff looked up. Like half of you wants to run back to the safe thing, the right thing, and the other half is just tired of pretending. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached out slowly, like I was an animal that might bolt, and touched my wrist. Just a thumb, tracing the faint red line where my tray strap usually rubbed. Does he know this mark exists? He asked. I shook my head. I see you, Rob. It wasn't the words. It was how he said them. Like they weren't up for debate. The couch felt smaller than before. Or maybe ID stopped trying to keep space between us. His knee brushed mine. He didn't move it. I turned to speak, but forgot the words the second our eyes met. Tell me to stop, Jeff whispered. I didn't. His fingers brushed my jaw. His touch was slow, warm, deliberate. He leaned in, breath grazing my cheek. My own breath caught. Then a crash thunder, loud and sharp. We both flinched. I laughed too loud, too shaky. He pulled back slightly. You're still scared, not of you. Then of what? Of what'll do if I let myself want this. His hand stayed on my leg, not pushing, just there, solid, present. Later we sat in silence, lights dimmed. Only the storm outside kept talking. Jeff reached for the bracelet I still wore, slipped it gently off my wrist, turned it in his fingers. You don't have to choose tonight, he said, but you will eventually, will I? I whispered. Yes, we always do, at some point. I laid my head on his shoulder. At some point, his hand found mine. At some point, the space between us disappeared, but nothing happened. Not really, only the sound of our breathing, only the electricity between two people too afraid to fall, and too close not to. He gave me the bed, said he'd take the couch. I almost argued, then didn't. I lay awake staring at the ceiling fan, skin still tingling from where head touched my jaw. My phone lit up once, Christopher. I didn't check the message. Outside the rain softened, but the storm inside me didn't. Before dawn, I found Jeff standing by the window, mug in hand, watching the sea. He turned, surprised. I was shirtless. He didn't look away. Couldn't sleep, I murmured. Me neither. He nodded toward the door. I can drive you back now, or you can stay for breakfast. His tone was even, but his eyes burned like a question he wouldn't ask twice. I stayed, and that morning, over burnt toast and strawberries I didn't even taste, I knew. Something had shifted, and I couldn't go back to who I was before. He called me while I was folding napkins in the back room. Christopher, his name flashed across my screen, bright and sharp. I stared for too long before answering. Hey, I said, like my voice wasn't already a betrayal. Hey, he breathed. Im here, I blinked. What, outside at the gate? My heart hit my ribs. You came here? You weren't calling back? I got worried. My throat went dry. You didn't tell me you were coming. I wanted to surprise you. The world tilted. He stood at the staff entrance with that same navy hoodie I used to steal from his dorm. His curls were damp from the humidity, his eyes searching me like they used to before I forgot how that felt. He pulled me into a hug. I froze before forcing my arms around him. God, you're so skinny, he whispered. Are you okay? I nodded. Is there somewhere we can talk? I led him to the far edge of the beach, behind the vendor stalls, away from guests and stares. I missed you, he said again. I know. He sat close, too close. I didn't stop him. I thought maybe we could spend the weekend together. I got a room. We could go swimming, or just sleep in, like before. His smile was soft. But something inside me clenched. I can't, I said. He stiffened. Can't or want. I didn't answer. Christopher stared at me, eyes narrowing, calculation behind concern. You met someone, he said. The words sliced like broken glass. What? No, don't lie, Rob. His voice cracked. You always blink when you lie. I turned away. How old is he? I didn't respond. Jesus, he muttered. Is this why you stopped answering at night? Because some older guy feeds you lines and gives you what? Gifts. He sees me, I snap. So do I. His voice surged. I've seen you since we were kids. No, I whispered. You saw who you needed me to be. Silence. Heavy, absolute, then softer. Are you sleeping with him? I flinched. Don't. God, Rob. I don't owe you details, I said, standing. You came without asking. You assumed I'd drop everything, that I still belonged to you. His face twisted, pain and rage and disbelief all colliding. You don't get to rewrite what we had just because someone richer came along. That's not fair. Neither is this. He stood now too, chest heaving. I came here because I love you, he said. I wanted to believe him, but his voice didn't sound like love. It sounded like possession. He turned to go, then paused. Does he even know you're still mine? That word, mine, landed like a slap. "I'm not anyone's," I said. He didn't reply, just walked away. I stayed on the beach until dark. My phone buzzed twice, then stopped. Later, I stood outside Jeff's villa. I hadn't called ahead. He opened the door in sweatpants and a black t-shirt, towel around his neck, his hair damp from a shower. His smile faded when he saw my face. "What happened?" "He came," I said. "Christopher?" Jeff stepped aside without asking. Inside, the lights were low. A single jazz track played somewhere in the background. I sat on the couch, hands clenched in my lap. "Do you want to talk?" Jeff asked gently. "I don't know what I want. That's okay." He sat beside me, close but not touching. "You were right," I murmured. "About what?" "That im split in two." I told him everything. How Christopher had been my first everything, how our love was familiar soft war, but also how I felt like I disappeared inside it. Jeff listened, didn't interrupt, didn't flinch when I said I still cared for him. He just nodded. Then, carefully, he reached out and touched my hand. "I don't want to replace him," he said. "I just want to be real with you, whatever that means." The doorbell rang. Late, loud, repeating. Jeff stood slowly. I followed. He opened it, and there he was, the stranger from the bar. The one with the coat and knife-sharp eyes. "Evening," the man said. "We need to talk." Jeff's jaw tightened. "This isn't the time. It never is it?" The man stepped forward. "You didn't tell him about me, did you?" My blood froze. Jeff stepped between us. "Leave now." The man smirked, eyes on me. "Careful who you let into your bed, kid. Jeff's got more ghosts than rooms in this house." He walked off into the night like he hadn't just split something open. I turned to Jeff. He didn't meet my eyes. "You know him?" Jeff's silence was answer enough. My heart started to race. "What aren't you telling me?" I asked. "Nothing that matters. That's not good enough." I didn't lie. "But you didn't tell the truth." He stepped forward. Rob, I backed away. "I need to go." "Please." I raised a hand. "Don't." The door slammed behind me. Rain started again. I stood in the street, soaked again, but this time not by accident, and for the first time I wasn't sure who I was running from. I walked aimlessly after I left his house, shoes soaked, shirt clinging to my back. The night air was heavy, salty, restless. Every sound felt louder, my breath, my heartbeat, the way my name had just been used by someone I didn't know. "Kid," that's what had called me, like I was something temporary, like Jeff hadn't meant anything, he said. But he had, right? My thoughts were a carousel of voices, Christopher's, Jeff's, that stranger's, and somewhere in the middle, my own, quieter, more dangerous. What if none of them truly knew me? I ended up by the dunes, sat in the sand, legs pulled tight. I could still feel Jeff's touch on my wrist. I could still feel Christopher's hand on my back when he hugged me earlier that day. They were so different. Christopher loved me like I was breakable. Jeff looked at me like I was already broken and beautiful anyway. What scared me more, that I wanted both, or that maybe neither of them was what I really needed. When I got back to staff housing, a note waited outside my door. Not a text, not a message, a folded napkin. Inside, one sentence: "Be careful who you trust. Has patterns." No signature, no handwriting I recognized. I crumpled it in my fist and stared at my reflection in the tiny mirror above my desk. My eyes looked older, harder. At midnight, Christopher messaged again. "I shouldn't have said all that. I'm sorry," and underneath it, "I just miss the boy who used to run to me, not from me." I didn't reply. I lay down, the bracelet Jeff gave me still wrapped around my wrist. I turned it slowly in the dark, then slipped it off, left it on the dresser, and closed my eyes not to sleep, but to stop thinking. I didn't speak to Jeff for 3 days, not because I was angry, because I didn't know who I was when I was near him anymore. I worked doubles, took every shift I could, came home late, left early. My body moved like I was fine, but everything beneath my skin buzzed like a wound healing wrong. Christopher sent voice notes. I didn't listen to them. Jeff sent nothing. No rose, no note, no knock. Just silence, and in a way that hurt more. On the 4th night, I left the restaurant late. The staff gate was locked again, so I took the longer path behind the guest suites. That's when I saw him. Jeff, he stood under a lone palm, arms crossed, shirt unbuttoned at the neck, eyes darker than I remembered. "I'm not here to beg," he said. "Good, because I have nothing to give you." He exhaled. "Then let me give you something." I should have walked away, but my feet stayed still. We didn't speak as we walked. The wind had calmed. Stars pressed down like they were eavesdropping. At the villa, he handed me a drink tea again. Still no pressure, still no reach. "You want to ask," he said finally. "About him, the guy at your door. His name's Mark. He was someone I trusted, someone I thought knew me, and he didn't like being let go. I waited. Jeff sat down, looked tired, older, human. We were never official, but he had a way of making me feel necessary, until I realized he liked control more than connection. My hands curled around the cup. You said you wouldn't lie to me. I didn't. You just didn't tell me. He nodded. Because I didn't want to lose you. I didn't know when I moved closer, but I was there now, on the couch beside him. Close enough to feel his breath. I don't know what we are, I whispered. Neither do I, but I'm still here. He looked at me, then not past me, not through me. At me, and in that moment, I forgot the stranger, the threats, even Christopher's voice in my inbox. There was just us. Then came the crash, glass shattering from the patio. Jeff moved fast, hand grabbing my shoulder, pulling me back. We crouched near the wall. A stone had come through the window, wrapped in a note. Jeff picked it up, hands trembling slightly. You don't get to move on without consequences. My stomach turned. Is this him? I asked. I don't know, but we both knew. Later that night, Jeff insisted I stay. Just tonight, for safety. I didn't argue. He gave me a first aid kit. I hadn't even realized my palm was bleeding a small cut from the broken glass. He sat across from me, cleaning it carefully. Every touch slow, focused. His fingers lingered when he was done. You scare me, he said suddenly. I blinked. Me. You make me want to be better. I laughed soft, sad. That's supposed to be a good thing, it is. But it means I have something to lose. I slept in his bed that night. Not with him, just there, wrapped in a blanket that smelled like him, skin still warm from his touch. His shirt on my body, too big, too soft. At 2 a.m., I woke up to find him sitting at the edge of the bed, back to me. He looked over his shoulder. Bad dreams, no, I said. Just awake. He didn't move, neither did I. But when I reached for his hand, he let me take it. By morning, he was gone. A note left on the pillow. Had a meeting. Stay as long as you need. There's cereal in the cabinet, and you're not a burden. I stared at it for a long time, then got dressed and left. That afternoon, Christopher showed up at the restaurant. I was wiping tables when I saw him at the entrance. He looked different, paler, eyes hollow. We need to talk, he said. Now. He pulled me outside, behind the kitchens. I know you're with him. My chest locked up. You don't know anything. I saw you at his house. I asked around. Are you following me now? I'm scared for you, he snapped. You think I don't see what's happening. That man he's not what you think. He's a predator, Rob. My hand flew before I could stop it, not a hit, but a shove. Sharp, final, don't call him that. You barely know him, and you think you own me just because we had history. He stared at me, chest rising, tears in his eyes. I loved you, he whispered. I believe you, I said, but you never learned how to let me be loved. He stepped back. And this time he didn't chase me. That night, the lights flickered in my room. I checked the window. Another note taped to the outside glass. He lied to me too, but I loved him anyway, until I didn't. No name, but I knew it was Mark. I tore it down, and for the first time I called Jeff. He answered on the first ring. Come get me, I said. Please. His car arrived in 10 minutes. He didn't ask questions, just opened the door, reached for my hand, and didn't let go. Not even when we pulled into the drive, not even when we crossed the threshold, not even when I stopped and turned to face him, forehead against his chest, fists curled in his shirt. He just held me, and I let him. It started with a knock, not loud, not angry, but sharp, measured. Jeff and I were in the kitchen. He was making coffee. I was still wearing his shirt, sleeves hanging past my fingers. He froze mid-stir. Don't open it, I whispered, but he already knew. Mark stood on the porch, wind tousling his coat. He didn't smile. I'm not here to cause trouble, he said. Jeff exhaled. Then why are you here? Mark looked at me. You brought him here, he asked. Jeff stepped between us. You don't get to speak to him. I loved you, Mark said, ignoring him. I forgave your secrets. I stayed when others walked. And now you're replacing me with a kid who doesn't even know who you really are. Something inside me cracked. What secrets? I asked, voice cold. Jeff turned to me. It's not what he thinks. What do you think it is? I snapped. Because I've been trying to believe in you, and every time I do, another ghost shows up. Mark laughed bitterly. You think you're the first. You're not even the third. Jeff flinched. Get off my property. But I was already moving past Jeff toward the door. I need air, I muttered. Rob, don't follow me. The wind was sharp. The sky hung low, bloated with storm. I walked until the house was just a silhouette. My skin itched, my eyes burned, my heart felt like it didn't fit inside my chest. Am I just another name on his list? Was Christopher right? My phone buzzed. A text from Christopher. Just 2 words. Come home. That word again, home. But I didn't know where that was anymore. When I returned, the porch was empty. The door unlocked. Jeff sat on the couch, elbows on knees, head down. "I didn't lie to you," he said without looking up. "But you let me believe I was different. You are. You let him stand there and shatter everything I thought we were building." Jeff looked at me, then eyes bloodshot, face open, broken. "I don't know how to do this right," he said. "I never have. Then why pull me in? Because you made me want to try." I sat across from him. Silence screamed between us. "I'm not a fantasy," I whispered. "I get scared. I overthink. I flinch when I'm touched too suddenly, I know." "No, you don't. You see me, but only in the light you choose." He reached across the space hand, trembling, and touched my cheek. "I see the fear, too," he said. "I see the cracks, and I still want to hold them." Tears pricked my eyes. "I don't know if that's enough. Maybe it's not," he whispered, "but it's real." We sat like that, eyes locked, hearts caving. Then he leaned in, and I didn't stop him. Our lips met soft, slow, nothing rushed. No hunger, just ache. His thumb brushed the edge of my jaw. I pressed my forehead to his, and then I pulled back. "I can't," I whispered. "I know," he nodded, didn't reach again, just sat there, with my warmth still lingering on his skin. I stood up, went to the door, hand on the knob. "You said I'd have to choose someday," I said. Jeff didn't move. "Is it today?" "I don't know." I opened the door. The wind howled outside. He didn't stop me. I didn't look back. Outside, rain began, a soft drizzle, like the sky was grieving something small but heavy. I walked slowly. No destination. My chest felt hollow, but lighter, somehow. I didn't know where I was going, only that I had to keep walking. I left the coast the next morning. Didn't tell anyone. Didn't write. Didn't say goodbye. The bus was nearly empty, just me, a woman with headphones, and a couple holding hands too tightly. I sat by the window, watched palm trees blur into telephone poles, watched summer become distance. My phone buzzed once around noon. A message from Jeff. "You don't owe me anything, but if you ever want quiet, I still have it." I didn't reply. Not because I didn't want to, because I didn't know what to say that wouldn't feel like another thread pulling us back together. Back home, the town felt smaller. Christopher saw me first. He was on the pier, skipping stones like we used to. He looked up, our eyes met. He didn't smile, but he didn't look away either. I sat beside him without asking. Neither of us spoke. Not for a long time. The water lapped gently. Boats clinked against the dock. "I thought you weren't coming back," he said. "I didn't know if I would." He nodded. I looked at his hands, same scars, same warmth, but something in me had shifted. Or maybe it always had. "I'm not the same," I said. "I figured, a beat past, you love him," he asked. I opened my mouth, closed it. "I don't know," I whispered, "but I miss him like he's still sitting beside me." Christopher exhaled, not angry, not sad. "Just tired." "Then maybe that's your answer." That night, I unpacked in silence. My room looked the same, but it didn't feel like mine anymore. On the nightstand, I placed two things: the bracelet Jeff gave me, and the crumpled napkin Mark had left behind. Two versions of the same man, two versions of who I could become. I didn't throw either away. I just left them there, unresolved, unanswered. Around midnight, I opened my messages, typed, "Thank you for the tea," deleted it. Typed again, "Do you still have quiet?" Stared at it. Then hit save as draft, didn't send. A week passed. Then too, one morning, while walking to the coffee shop, I saw a familiar car across the street, parked, silent, empty. I paused. My heart didn't race, but it moved. I stood there, one foot on the sidewalk, one in the street. The engine never started. No one got out, but the windows were down just enough to feel like an invitation. Or maybe a memory. I didn't cross, not then. Maybe never, but I didn't walk away either. That night, as I lay in bed, I whispered into the dark, "If I go back, will you still hold me the same?" No one answered. Just the hum of the streetlight outside. Just the bracelet catching the faintest shimmer from the window. And the quiet, still waiting.